This is part one of the behind the scenes of Blue Vault. This is Foley Sound recording. I want to apologise about the aspect ratio that this video was recorded in. Didn't really think about that. Should have done, but I didn't. Whoopsie. But yeah, this is the first day of recording Foley Sound, and yeah. So how I recorded the sound for Tom's regular clothes in his prison uniform is I basically just put one hand underneath my t-shirt, grabbed it, and then I'd rub it together like that as he was moving around, and you can't really hear it on this video, but when you're using the microphone you can hear it. How I recorded the sound for the scientist's underclothes is I just basically did what I was doing with my t-shirt for Tom's main clothes, but I'd put a hand in my pocket and then I'd just fiddle around with the trouser leg, or I'd grab the trouser leg like this, or I'd move my hand up and down the trouser leg like that, just to create the sound of the clothes rubbing against each other, because the scientist's underclothes are meant to be a bit more tracksuity. How I recorded the scientist's lab coat is I would literally just use my t-shirt and I grab it out wide so it was baggy, and then I just move it around like that, because obviously the lab coat is quite long and baggy compared to his regular clothes. Now, because I'm at college and I don't have much equipment to record these particular sounds that I'm looking for with, a lot of them, specifically couch cushions and bed sheets, might get re-recorded. But how I've done it today is similarly to when I was recording Tom's clothes, by grabbing my t-shirt like that, rubbing it together, grab my t-shirt, and just up against this chair, just rub against like that, so you get the sound of the clothes up against the cushiony surface of the chair. And the bed sheets are definitely going to get re-recorded, but I did the same, just up against these acoustic foam panels here for the bed sheets, and maybe the couch cushions as well, but I just did that up against the acoustic foam panels. That's definitely going to get re-recorded though, because while it could be used for the couch cushions, I feel like it's too rough of a surface for something like bed sheets. In order to create the sound effect of the gun hitting the floor in scene 10, I found this in the recording room at college, and I literally just grab the handle like that. It makes clicky sounds like that if you go back and forth, which, you know, sound like different components of the gun. So I just grabbed that and just dropped it, just to get the sound of the metal hitting a hard impact, and then the components of the gun clanking. While in the recording room, I found this box of props and stuff, and in it I found a set of rubber washing up gloves, and the scientist would be wearing some kind of gloves, so I'm going to record a bit of sound with these, maybe just a bit typing on a keyboard wearing these as well. Whilst I was recording that sound of the gloves, I was also tensing my hand into a fist occasionally to get the sound of the rubber tensing and tightening, so it sounds like his hand is moving in the glove. To record Tom's armour, I have, in the box with all the props in the recording room, I found this, I guess, bike lock. And I found that it creates some nice clanking metally sounds, which is exactly what I'm looking for with Tom's armour. If you play around with the key, and just this bit of the lock as a whole. What I found when recording Tom's sound for his armour is that obviously this is really good, fiddling with this bit, creating those nice clanky metallic sounds, but also having this, the chain bit, because there's a chain inside here, you can feel it, bunched up and sat on my leg, on my lap, is that when you're moving this around, these two materials rub against each other, and it creates a sound that might sound like what Tom's armour rubbing up against his undersuit would sound like. So that's worked out quite nicely. It's like a happy accident. Next up, I'm doing the General's component of the General's suit, and that's kind of his belt, but this is also transferable over to Tom because he is also wearing a belt. So this is kind of like a two-in-one in a way. So to create the sound of the bungee cord, originally I was going to plan to use a hairband or an elastic band. I was leaning towards a hairband because it had the same kind of cover that a bungee cord might have, but then I thought that I wouldn't get the right sound and it would be too twangy, almost like a guitar string in a way. And obviously in the recording room at college there is that box with the props in, one of the props was a rubber glove, which obviously I've used previously for other sounds. And I thought, well, I could just stretch this, squeeze this and get the kind of sound that I might have been looking for. And then obviously because this is going against my skin and my clothes, that's another happy accident where the bungee cord is rubbing up against Tom and his clothes and his skin. So yeah. Other sounds that I recorded today include the sound of Tom hitting the floor and the scientist hitting the floor, as well as Tom rolling on the floor when in scene 7 he's running on the walls and then he falls and he's rolling. To create this sound, I used the belt that I recorded for the General and Tom's belt, and I hit it up against the chair that I used to record the couch cushions and also the chair that I'd been sat in when recording a lot of those sounds as well. When recording the sound of Tom rolling, I made the sound more sporadic and unpredictable, I guess, just so that it matched up with Tom hitting the ground and then rolling and then hitting the ground again. And that, along with the soft sound of the chair cushion and then the harder sound of the chair legs and frame, created a nice sound of impact. And then pairing that alongside the other sounds of Tom's clothes, I feel will create a good sound in the final product. And the same goes for the scientist as well. Anyway, that is the end of day 1 of recording Foley Sound and the behind the scenes for Blue Vault. I hope you enjoyed and I hope this was informative. Thank you for watching.